All right, so I'm in my sleeping bag, and I've got some stuff that's on my mind. It's really bothering me about my whole situation. The fact that I'm like out in everybody's face with a YouTube channel in Chattanooga. The fact that the two videos that are my two most recent full-length videos are full of profanity and me really pissed off and can't hold it back. And I kind of feel like that may be a deterrent for people that like potentially see me with my signs and giving my channel out. They go and they see, either one of those two regular length videos, and they probably think, "Oh my God, this motherfucker's a nut." I feel like I need to kind of explain myself a little bit to everybody, and I do want to, in a way, I kind of want to apologize to the general community for showing up. Look, I didn't grow up here in Chattanooga. I'm an outsider. I'm kind of an irritant because I'm homeless. Apparently, that's extremely irritating around here, which is something that we need to talk about because us homeless people ain't damaging you financially in any way. Even if you hand us $5, $10, $15, $20 every once in a while, we're not damaging you near as much as the pedophiles and all the freaking criminals that are in all levels of government are damaging you by taxing the shit out of you and buying bombs and blowing up babies and women overseas and in Gaza, and apparently they want to go down and murder a bunch of people in Venezuela for the oil down there. Largest oil reserves on the planet. It's right up under Venezuela. Doesn't take a lot to figure out why these creatures keep doing all this evil shit to everybody. That's a total nother rabbit hole that the people that I would like to target at some point. I don't know if I'm targeting them here, but I'd like to target the people that spew venom at me because you're being fools and you're being pigs. You're being blood-soaked, disgusting, evil, brainwashed, super propagandized pigs, and you're headed for one place, and that's hell. But I want to come with love in my heart and the facts dragging behind me from a long, big chain that support everything that I say. And I don't have to bring the books that I've read, which are, compared to book readers, not many necessarily over the past especially 10 years. But I can only put in my playlist that's the evidence that backs up. That's why my playlist is so extensive, because within my playlist is evidence of many, dare I say, the majority of the things that you hear come out of my mouth that you may hate, you may dismiss it foolishly, you may think it sounds kooky, you may think it is grounds to call me a conspiracy theorist, you may think that it's just more evidence that I'm a piece of shit. I don't know, but the problem is that the evidence that supports what I'm saying is in my playlist, and it cannot be denied. Literally cannot be denied. That's why I drag that playlist at the end of that big logging chain behind me as I traverse whatever's left of the rest of my life after having 5 years of it stolen by this demonic bullshit system. See, I'm going to have to go back. I'm going to have to go back, and I'm going to have to tell the story going all the way back to the first of the 4 incidents of police egregiously misbehaving toward me and treating me really bad and threatening my life. One of them, after he was the one that was out of line and did something wrong. It's strange that it's kind of similar to Kathy the Cuck over at Walmart and the other little bent up lesbian bitch that's bent over sideways over there. You know, and then of course the corpsoration. I've got a lot of stuff in store. We're going to be doing a we're going to walk down Gun Barrel, and we're going to do a little video on hypocrisy when it comes to advertising, communication, freedom of speech, which is the First Amendment, and homeless people in the way that they're treated when they do the same things that all the corporations and businesses can do. And there's no problem. But if you do it as a homeless person, you're being bad, and we're going to come torment your fucking ass. It's stupid. Anyway, so let me just have a heart-to-heart real quick. I humbly apologize to everyone, my subscribers, the people that have viewed the two videos where me and the old dumbass down there are having problems. If you really want to know the truth, when it comes down to it, if I'm not being driven crazy in my own brain from the stress of any number of freaking things I'm having to deal with being in this situation, because if you ain't never been homeless, it's no fun. And you got to deal with a lot of shit that nobody can even imagine until you experience it. So don't be so judgmental of somebody, you know, that's in the streets, and especially targeting me because of how out in the open I am compared to some other people that are homeless out here. You don't know my story. You don't know my story. But anyway, the old man down there that works for Allied Security, you know what? I still love the bastard because he's a fellow American, you know, and I don't even like that because I don't mind the Hispanic people and the rest of the people from around the world being here that aren't legal. I don't like all that shit. You know, whoever wants to come on. I thought we were the melting pot and everything. Well, guess what? We melted some people in here we shouldn't have, and they're in all the top positions. I got that proof too. I'm dragging that right behind me. Just mentioned it. All right. But I would hope that people would correct themselves, because I only hope that the future, our kids and grandkids, or your kids and grandkids, I don't have any kids, but your kids and grandkids are going to hate you if you don't hurry up and wake up. If you think Donald Trump, okay, never mind. I don't want to go there. I'm not doing that. Look, I apologize to everybody in Chattanooga. I apologize to everybody up and down Gun Barrel Road for being here and being out here with these signs and having to depend on y'all to help me pay the two bills. You know, it's $56 a month for my phone bill, and it's going to be $62 from now on for my storage unit, which is a 5x5. Now I might be able to downsize and get that back down to around $45, $48 or something. I don't know. I'm going to talk to them. I'm all about being conservative. I grew up in a conservative family, believe it or not. I was a Republican voter, by the way, y'all, most of my life. Thank God I got over it. Starting about 9 years ago. And it took about another 2 years after that. So really the last 7 years I've been anti-government, pretty much. Anti-Republican and Democrats. Two wings of the same bird. They've been screwing us. They do the same shit. Look at history in a realistic way, and you'll have no choice but to admit that to yourself, okay? Even the criminal shit, you know, all this stuff with Trump and that was going on, Epstein, they're all doing that shit, okay? It's ugly as shit, and the rest of the world's laughing at us. As a nation, really, it's disgusting. It's horrible. But I apologize to everybody in Chattanooga, up and down Gun Barrel Road. I apologize to the community here. I apologize to the people offended by my presence. I apologize for being vulgar. I apologize to the old man down there. I'm gonna try not to mess with him, but if he messes with me, I've got something for him. All right, I'm not gonna be treated this way. Not after what I've been through. And even if somebody hadn't been through what I've been through, it's not right to treat people the way I'm being treated. It's not right. There was a lady at McAllister's earlier this morning that just absolutely boiled my blood for her to talk down her nose the way that she was. After initially offering to buy me something to eat, or she said you seemed down, and she asked if she could help, if she could buy me something to eat. She did say it that way, but she ended up not wanting to give me, the thing that was killing me for the last few days was paying the storage unit bill. But she didn't want to give me cash, and then she started berating me about, well, you should take the help that's offered. They have a shelter downtown. I said, lady, why don't you go spend a night in that shelter downtown? You know how ridiculous it is to somebody that actually knows what the fuck it's like to go inside of that shelter downtown and sleep in it and stay there every night, eat the food there. Okay. It's just not, there's drug addicts everywhere. There's and nothing against drugs, but I'm just saying, I'm an ex-drug addict. I don't want to be around the drugs. I really don't. So you want me to go stay where there's drug dealers and drug addicts, and it's nasty as hell, and I'm a freaking germaphobe? I mean, no, seriously. This is the way this system completely destroys. It's just a microcosm of the way that the system completely destroys any idea of anyone, especially being poor or homeless like me, of you having any say-so over how you manage your life. No. There's structure there that says you have to do it this way. So this lady's telling me, why don't you go to the shelter? You're out here expecting other people to pay. And I'm like, lady, you just asked me. The first thing you asked me is I looked like I was down. You offered to buy me food. I told you I didn't need food. And I told you that my problem was I'm about to lose my mind over over possibly losing my storage unit, which means I would have to tote everything, and I can't. And so it means I'm going to lose everything, or most everything, if I lose the storage unit. And this lady's like, you shouldn't be out here. She just talking to me about down her nose at me like that about, and almost seemed offended that I was turning down the food. What you asked if there was anything you could help me with? Can I buy you some food? That's the way you said it. But apparently you didn't mean it, because I just told you I need like $30, or I'm going to lose my freaking stuff, because I got to pay the storage unit, and I'm already 5 days late. I got one more day to pay it. Oh no, it's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous, especially considering how much knowledge I have about the money system, which is going to be a future video. My knowledge of the money system alone puts that woman and anybody else. All these people want to scream and cuss at me and shoot birds at me. I had another guy. I had two people yesterday, I think, shoot birds at me and holler out the window at me, and then I had one today. Or it was two today and one yesterday. I forget. It's one way or the other. And plus the guy that was the subject of my short where I was trying to be a comedian the other day. I stole something from Orny Adams. Orny Adams is awesome. I love Orny. But I mean, it's just why do these people think that it's okay? And some of these people are so brain dead and hypocritical, and they don't see the hypocrisy in it, but they'll say that they're all about the Constitution and shit, or maybe some of them will, but at the same time they'll be just as vile and venomous towards me, standing on the sidewalk with a sign practicing my First Amendment right to free speech and political speech, which is apparently the only freaking way it'll work. I mean, I guess there's other things you could say. You could say I love you, Merry Christmas, or something like that. You just can't. You can't even seem to be asking for assistance or help of any kind. Anything like that, it's against the city ordinance of panhandling and begging. So, the reality is, I despise the fact that I'm in this shape. I despise having to come out and ask people to give me money to help me because I'm in this situation. I hate it. I do. And it kind of works out well that I kind of feel like I'm trying to give back at least because I've done so much research and I've got a lot of knowledge. Anybody can learn something from my playlist. I guarantee you. I don't care how much research you've done in rabbit holes you've gone down, conspiracy theories. You go into my playlist, you're going to learn something. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. But the whole thing I'm having to go through right now, people have to understand my situation. I had the electric bike that I had was a chance for me, and it was a piece of shit, and it's gone now. I don't want to go into why. It's two different reasons why. But I spent $360 on it from the $1,600 I had left out of the $2,200 I made when I was over worked on. I made I stacked up $2,200 in 4 weeks with 2 days of overtime in 4 weeks over at Gestamp, and I lost that job because I'm homeless. All I needed was 5-6 more paychecks, and I would have been off the streets in a minivan, and I would have been on my way. This is 5 years of my life is gone, and I came here to go to work. I got a job and got fired because of one prick. One freaking prick over there. Didn't like the fact that I was there 2 consecutive Sundays when we worked 2 consecutive Saturdays. And I went in there on Sunday and used the break room and the microwave and the bathroom because I was sleeping nearby because I'm homeless and I'm old and I can't travel back and forth. This is before I got the storage unit. I got the storage unit right after I lost that job. But the injustice is really obvious. I get tired. I'm really tired. I've had it rough. I've been so stressed. I've been falling apart. But just the idea of getting mad at me without knowing anything about my situation, because if you knew my whole story going back 5 years and everything that I've been through, it'd probably damn near bring you to tears. It really would. I'd like to be able to, some of the videos I've erased, I promised that I would go back and tell that story. But anyway, yeah, the situation I'm in is I have a storage unit right here behind me, basically. Okay, and I have to operate from that as my home base. I'm 57 years old. I have to be efficient with my energy. I don't have the energy to hop on a bicycle and ride 3 freaking miles to work and 3 miles back every day. I can't do that. Okay? There's a certain kind of work that I need to do, that I'm the best at, that I've done a lot over the past 20 years. Manufacturing, production, assembly line, warehouse. That's the 4. Anything to do with any of that, working with metal, working with wood. I can be a delivery driver. There's nothing wrong with my driver's license. I'm an excellent driver. I've had jobs where I drove dump trucks. Now, I haven't had a Class B license. I was driving single axle dump trucks down in the Atlanta area years ago and pulling a trailer with a Bobcat on it. Okay? I can drive. I can deliver stuff. I can do yard work. I'm a lawn care expert. There's a lot of crap that I can do, but I'm stuck as far as getting the job. What I wanted to do is get a job doing manufacturing. The perfect job for me was that job over at Gestamp. But now there's no way I'm going back to work there. Now, somebody said that there was a place somewhere down the road down this way, but I'm signed up with the 2 temp agencies, and the way I lost that job, I got pissed off. I started smoking weed and everything. But look, it doesn't matter if it's a job that's 2 miles down the road down here or not. It's 2 miles that I've got to cover between where my home operating base is, where I put my sleeping stuff up during the day and get it out for the nighttime, is at the storage unit. I need some kind of transportation. I've got to have some kind of transportation, or if you people around here can find some kind of menial work so that I don't have to beg. I would rather work. I swear to God, I'd rather work for the money rather than come out here and fly a sign to get it. Now, I'd still be out there with my political signs because I'm about it. I'm telling you, I got some knowledge. And don't discount what I said in that video earlier by me, where I told y'all remember, if y'all watched that video, I said y'all better take advantage. You have no idea the mind opening knowledge that I can show you and lead you to. I can even tell you about some of it. You'll even get some of it out of my own mouth, but I'm telling you, my playlist is where it's at. But yeah, I hate it. I hate to be out here having to do this shit. I would much rather be working for it. But I feel like I'm stuck because for the last 3 months, I was only going to take a couple of months and smoke weed and kind of mess with my channel and then try to get over it and go back to work. And I kind of did. And then I was told, well, I was told at one temp service, and then I called another one and was just kind of talking to them that I'm not signed up with, but they were saying the same thing, that the steel tariffs or something were making it where they were slow on hiring at places like Gestamp out there that use a lot of metal. They got a lot of metal that they, so that depressed me. But I mean, since then I've literally been in a cycle where I have to spend damn near all my waking time scheming and trying to figure out how I'm going to scrape up enough money to pay a bill, because they're 2 weeks apart. My phone bill's in the middle of the month, and my storage bill is on the first of the month, and it's about $55 a piece. Well, it's going to be 62 and 56. So I mean, like I say, I can downsize, but I mean, I don't know what to do. And then the Walmart thing, this is the beauty of how evil the system is, how it just chokes you down, and it's like a boot, just your head's trying to pop up out of the ground, and as soon as it does, a boot comes down and just crushes your head back into the ground. When you're in a situation like this, you need to be able to have access to things like food and everything else to sustain yourself. Well, what did Walmart just do to me? They just cut me off from the cheap way that I was eating. I was eating really cheap out of Walmart, and it was convenient. It's right over there. I can't do that now. I'm banned from all Walmarts. The old lizard bastard down there at Allied Security from the 2 videos that are full of profanity, what does he want to do? He wants to ban me from being able to go there too. There's a grocery store there. I've been in there and bought shit from them. McAllister's is there. I've been in there and bought shit from them. Best Buy's there. I've been in there and bought shit from them. I mean, come on. I didn't spend much at Best Buy. It was a little small thing. I forget if it was a box or a cord or something. But I mean, still, doesn't matter. The old man's out there and thinks he's got to come pounce on me because I'm a homeless guy carrying a piece of cardboard that he can just run over there, even though I patronize that business. He had no business coming over there and saying a fucking word to me. And some bitch wanted to come over there and run his mouth at me. So he got what he deserved. Me dog cussing him. And I hope the police on the other end, if that's who he was talking to, heard it, exactly what I said. Because there's a reason I said it that loud. I wanted them to hear it on the other end. I really don't want to be out here in the streets. I would desperately want to get at the age of 52. My life is, or 52 and a half, or 53, I don't know. Was it 53? Was it 4 years? I don't know. 4.5 years ago, something like that. 4 years ago, my life went to shit. 4.5 years ago, my life went to shit, or a little less than 4.5. Whatever. July 2021, whatever, figured up. All that time is gone. I'm 57. I'd like to be able to live my fucking life, please. I'd like to get off the fucking streets, get into a fucking minivan, and at least have transportation so my old ass ain't got to drag every goddamn thing around every fucking where. Is that okay? Goddamn. All you people want to fucking attack. You keep fucking attacking somebody that doesn't deserve it, and just make it clear that the system and everybody that's comfortable in it wants you fucking dead or gone. What do you think you're going to do? You're going to make a militant motherfucker, and I'm getting there. I am fucking getting there. But I don't want to be that way. I really don't. I'm sorry, I had a little outburst there. Y'all can't imagine the stuff that I've gone through. And I've had... People, if people had been through what I've been through the last 4.5 years, y'all be... I mean, some people... I mean, I got a temper. Maybe you wouldn't be worse than me, but I guarantee you would understand where I'm at. I don't want to hurt nobody. I want to help everybody. I come to everybody with love. If I still believe in God, okay, I'd be praying, but I just hope now that old man down there that works for Allied Security pulls his head out of his ass and quits being an enemy of the Constitution and the very system that he claims or would claim to support. Because you're not about freedom. You are not about constitutional rights. You're about your little paycheck and you think and your authority and your ego. And it's wrong. And you're going to get yourself in big trouble because you're messing with somebody smart. If I hem you up, if you keep misbehaving that way and I hem you up, I'm coming after you, bud. And I'm coming after the company you work for. You're not going to do it to me. You might do it to somebody else. You're not going to do it to me. You're not going to do it to somebody else in my presence either. I don't care who it is. But yeah, anyway. There's a lot of things. I've had clarity of thought for 2 or 3 days, and I've had so many great ideas, and this has just kind of touched on a couple of things that I wanted to mention. I'm sorry. I'm going to try to do better. I don't want to be this profane presence in the community here. I really don't. You got to consider at least the possibility, and maybe stay tuned, that perhaps if I can get around after getting through some stuff that I've got planned, written down, that I want to do. My purpose for this channel is to teach and educate and lead people to understanding so that we can fix what's wrong, because there's a lot wrong. A lot. So, I just want to clear the slate, please, and understand that I'm not looking to put out content like those 2 videos, but I feel like I've got no choice but to leave them up because it's evidence of what I'm having to deal with, along with a few other things that are up on my channel. I don't want to be doing this. I want to be teaching, living, laughing, smiling, making people happy, even though the system's my enemy. It's not y'all. These people screaming profanities at me and shooting me birds, they're not my enemy. I pity them. I really do. Y'all just consider that I just need to be, just don't let the system eat me alive and kill me, because it's really getting close to the point I'm starting to think it's going to happen. It's just so difficult. I'll quit smoking weed, no problem. But I've at least got to have some kind of idea of some kind of damn, okay, in 3 weeks, by the time I'm clean off the fucking weed and can piss in a cup for somebody, I'll have a way of transportation to and from a job, The reason I want the factory work and the 4 types of work, because it's easiest for me to handle physically. And I'm really good at it. I can go in there and you ain't got to worry about it. You show me the ropes on that sucker and I get it pretty quick, and you can walk away, and hell, before you know it, I'm fucking doing shit. How the hell are you getting that much production on that? So what'd you do? I don't know. I'll show you. But, you know, I'm just stuck between a rock and a hard place. The fear of losing that storage unit's my biggest fear. You know, I'd live without phone service for, you know, a few days or a week if I had to. And, you know, it would suck having a YouTube channel. It would really limit the hell out of what the fuck I could do in certain ways. You wouldn't think so, but it would. But yeah, I apologize to everybody. I don't want to do this. I don't want to be this kind of a presence. I don't want to be out here having to ask y'all to hand over your hard-earned money to me. But look at where the hard-earned money goes that's taken by force from you, and look what it goes to. My God, think about what I just said. Anyway, I'm gonna just end this because I really felt like I needed to say that to y'all because I'm really a good person, and I don't like having to have people hand me money so that I can pay my bills. I want to pay my bills myself, but I'm an old fart. I've been down through there unjustly for the last 4.5 years. Please. I just need to not sink and stay afloat long enough to figure out how in the hell I'm gonna get some kind of, you know, electric bicycle or some of these little electric scooter things. I've seen those things running around everywhere. They're fast as hell. You know, all I need is like a, you know, maybe a $600, $650, $700 electric bike that's a little better than that piece of crap that I had that will go, you know, 15 to 20 miles on a battery charge, and well, that's good enough. That would do it, you know. Or a moped, an old school moped, 50 cc's or less, that I wouldn't have to put a tag on it. It's a piece of crap, but it runs. You crank it, you know, some bitch you crank up and go. I'll take one of them. You know. It can be 20 years old. If that some bitch crank up and run, you know, I don't give a damn. If it'll get me to and from work and it's fairly reliable, you know, and simple to work on, or you know, if it ain't reliable, whatever, and I ain't got to tag it and do a whole bunch of crap like that, you know, it won't take me but about 3 months, and I'll be out of the streets. I'll be in a minivan. 3 months. As frugal as I am with money, y'all be surprised how frugal I am with money. It wouldn't take 3 months. In 3 months, I'd have freaking, you know, $3,600 saved up, at least. And that's plenty to go get a little minivan for that amount of money. I'd be fine. Y'all wouldn't see me out there on the sidewalks no more unless there was something really big going on that was really horrible. Then you'd see me out there with political signs again, whatever. But yeah, I'm not the enemy of y'all here. Even if y'all hate me and because I got my Trump sign and everything, I still love you. I just want you to wake up, because it's not red versus blue. It's purple versus me and you, and that's what you need to get through your head. I can help. I can sit and tell all of you well-to-do people out there that are mean to me, or well, some of the people riding in the shitty red pickup trucks, they're not well-to-do. But some of the other people that sneer at me, you know, I'm thinking about filming some of that, because I get some interesting looks, and then I get people that are waving and smiling, and I give them the peace sign, and they're giving me the thumbs up and all that stuff, you know. And then you get the other ones where they're shooting a bird, or you know, some old red-faced old alcoholic old man, you know, old white man in his nice pickup truck, and he ain't gonna do nothing never. But I'm voting Republican, man. Them Democrats. Your brain is so fried, right? You're so simple-minded. You just take what you're being fed from Fox News. That's all. That's as deep as you go into anything, and they're controlled by the freaking CIA. You ain't never heard of Project Mockingbird, dummy? Huh? Where the CIA infiltrated the freaking, the big 3 freaking news agencies back in the 50s? Think they're not doing it today? Come on, man. You people really got to wake up. Now, when people are up at a certain age, you can't, they're so pickled, their brain's so pickled, you can't show them anything. They can't even comprehend, freaking, somebody, Donald Trump, doing some of the stuff Donald Trump's done. You can't wake them up. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up. I'm sorry. I kept rambling, didn't I? That's what happens when you smoke a little pot. Your mind starts working. You'd be amazed some of the theories and stuff that I work on. It would blow your mind. Did you know I'm a scientist? Basically, I'm a scientist, yeah. And it's one of the things I am. I'm many things. I'm a chameleon. I can change shapes. I can open portals. Kind of like Ammon. Shout out to Ammon. By the way, I'm missing Ammon right now. I just got a notification that Ammon is live at Lady Babylon, baby. Oh my God. Y'all, I'm out. I gotta go.